Hello and welcome once again to History You Need to Know. Today our question is, were there Christians in Africa before colonialism or slavery in America? Now this is a very important question because some have labeled Christianity as the white man's religion. Now when it comes to Africa, people tend to think of it in terms of it being a country as opposed to one of the 7 continents. Africa is almost twice the size of Russia and bigger than China, the United States, and Canada combined. It's composed of roughly 54 countries with a very diverse population speaking in excess of 2,000 languages. Now, on this vast continent, there were certainly Africans who had never heard the message of the cross before colonialism. However, there were many Africans who had. With this in mind, it is conceivable that some Africans brought to the Americas as slaves were Christians when they arrived. They were Christians before American slavery. First, I want to talk about Christianity in North Africa, Egypt in particular. And secondly, I want to talk about Christianity in Ethiopia. Now, concerning North Africa, tradition holds that Mark, one of the original disciples of Jesus Christ, brought Christianity to the North African country of Egypt, and there he founded the Coptic Church during the 1st century. Coptic means Egyptian. The Coptic Church is one of the oldest Christian churches in the Middle East and was the first founded in Egypt. Coptic Christians make up the majority of the 9 million Christians in that country. To this day, they suffer a great deal of persecutions in this Muslim nation. Nevertheless, they maintain their faith in Jesus Christ. The Coptic Christians proudly acknowledge, John Mark, the author of the Gospel of Mark, again as their founder and first bishop between 40 and 62 AD. This means that there were Christians in Africa very early on. Secondly, I want to talk to you about Christianity in the Eastern African nation of Ethiopia. Now, concerning Ethiopia, Ethiopia has stood as the oldest independent African nation and of African Christianity. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church maintains the tradition that the Queen of Sheba, mentioned in 1 Kings 10, after her visit with King Solomon, had a son named Menelik, who became the first monotheistic king of Ethiopia. Church tradition also holds that the eunuch of Candace, mentioned in Acts 8, was Oxumite and was one of the first to preach the gospel in Ethiopia. Now, while it is likely that Christianity first came to Ethiopia as early as the 1st century, the 4th century is the terminus antiquum, or the latest date for the introduction of the gospel in Ethiopia, as several notable historians and church fathers attest to the presence of an established church hierarchy in Ethiopia during this time. Now, from this we know that Christianity was introduced to Ethiopians hundreds of years before the first slave ever came to the Americas. The Ethiopian church is one of the oldest organized bodies in the world. The church has long enjoyed a dominant role in the culture and politics of Ethiopia and was the official religion of the country until 1974. Approximately 62% of the nation is Christian today. It's the largest pre-colonial Christian church of Africa. The Ethiopian church has a membership of between 32 and 36 million people, the majority of whom live in Ethiopia. From now we know that there were Christians in Africa before American slavery.